Hello, everybody, and welcome to unMadeGaming. It is Wednesday, and that means it's time for a bonus stream. We are here with Shadows Over Driftchapel and the Golden Gate Bridge. With me today is a wonderful cast and crew. I don't know what's happening anymore. We'll start with Grant. Grant, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And tell us about Shadows Over Driftchapel.
Blah, blah, blah. Grant Ellis, best thing ever. No, hi, everybody. My name is Grant. I'm an independent content creator for tabletop role-playing games with an emphasis on 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons and Cypher system. I'm currently working on several products for 2C Gaming, but today I'm promoting a Kickstarter by my friends Matt Click and Absolute Tabletop and the Tabletop Terrors, Tim Kearney, all the greats. They put together any nominated amazing adventure kits. So if you're a friend of Matt or a fan of Matt Colville, a fan of Sly Flourish, a fan of ready to go adventure materials that really get your imagination running, their adventure kits by Absolute Tabletop are some of the best products in the industry. I am not sponsored by them. I am not affiliated with them at all. That is my FCC disclaimer. I'm just a huge fan of their material and content. So Shadows Over Driftchapel is flintlock fantasy. What that means is we are taking tabletop role-playing from traditional fantasy and moving it into the Victorian or Colonial-inspired fantasy era, where we will have gaslit streets, we will have flintlock pistols, and we will start telling tales of tales of writhing darkness, I should probably call it. Shadows Over Driftchapel takes place in the town of Driftchapel, which is sort of a labyrinthine crisscross of waterways and alleys, with a hodgepodge of streets piled up on top of each other, which is where our adventure begins. The adventure itself that we're running today is an investigation adventure that I wrote and used the playtest materials to help put together to set theme, tone, and some of the events. And I'm excited to run it, just because it really fits my style of play.
Sweet. Yeah, I second what Grant said. I love the Absolute Tabletop guys. I saw them before they performed Absolute Tabletop on their own YouTube channels. I suggest you guys check them out. Tabletop Terrors, A Fistful of Dice, and Be a Better Game Master. I learned a lot from those guys when I first started getting into streaming, and how to format things for a show environment through their show, The Provokers, which was very formative. So go check those guys out. And this is their second Kickstarter for this. Their first one, I can't remember the name. Something the Frozen Throne. Oath of the Frozen Throne? Oath of the Frozen Throne. That was also super good. Yeah, it's essentially you roll on a bunch of tables, and boom, you have an adventure.
You can run it from levels 1 through 20.
Yep.
It's not like this is a 5th level adventure. It's just, this is content. You can use it however you like.
Yeah. Super easy to roll characters, super easy to roll like monsters, NPCs, the adventure itself, the rooms of a dungeon. Super cool. All right, let's get back to the cast. Let's jump over to Greg. Grimjack21502, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
Well, my friend, I am so happy to be back here on unMadeGaming as a player, as I am a GM on the Monday nights, doing a little bit of the Atari Twilight. But here, we're doing a little bit of that 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. But tonight, right now, I am going to be playing Half-Elven Sorcerer, Lanros Manghorn. Let's see how that goes. That was a dramatic pause, everybody.
Landros Manghorn. Okay.
I'm calling Gross your manhorn.
Gross, I think. Let's jump over to Lindy. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
Well, I'm Laugh Love Lindy, and you can find me all over the internet at Laugh Love Lindy, where I play in a ton of tabletop games. Just an hour ago, Greg and I wrapped up our Call of Cthulhu game, Masks of Dire Step, which is super awesome. On the kind of roleplay, you should definitely check that out. We're married, and it's adorable. And then what else? Let's see. Yeah, I post when I'm going live on my Twitter most of the time. But, you should also check out Power Square PG this weekend, where we're going to be starting up a brand new campaign on his channel called Hell's Rebels. I'm going to be a creepy necromancer. It's going to be awesome. And today, I will be playing a definitely not creepy, not a pirate, half-elf named Scarlet Setsuko. It's going to be great.
Wait, I know her.
I don't know if that's a good laugh or a bad laugh.
She She seduced Strahd and Mordenkainen in the same adventure.
Perfect. Then it's a good
And
laugh.
the only person to
Session.
survive.
Perfect. Awesome. With that, we'll jump over to Kiana. Who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And who are you playing today?
Hey everybody, I'm Kiana, also known as Kiana S, pretty much everywhere on different role-playing game streams, almost every day of the week. You guys probably may have recognized me from the charity stream, where we did some crazy honey heist, and now we're doing a total 180. And we're going real dark, gritty here, with my character Aster Morgenthal, who is a human cleric deputy. She's just real done and tired with everything. So we'll see how this investigation goes with her leading it.
Sweet. I'm excited. And I will be playing Eamon Brandis. He is a human Order of the Profane Soul blood hunter, and he is the assistant deputy in what I can only assume is going to be a shit show. Great episode. Great session is what I meant to say. And with that, Grant, take us into Driftchapel.
Yeah, it's one of those things like, Grant Ellis has had enough. It gets to that point where the games he's running all kind of blend together. It's like, oh, poor Grant Ellis. No, but I'm actually really excited today, and I will now set the scene. Rain falls on the barony of Strand. The labyrinthine streets and waterways that trap the town of Driftchapel in its tangles are stained with blood tonight. A simple man, a church-going man, has been slashed down in front of an ivy-covered statue known to the followers of the Sun Prince as the Promise of the Stars. Our investigation begins at the scene of the crime, which emits the familiar aroma of murder most foul. A witness stands being questioned by the company of the Black Flame. So which of our players chose the bond that I presented of being the witness to the crime?
Me.
And our deputy is
Me?
Aster, and assistant deputy is Eamon. This adventure is going to assume that Landrod has already come forward to assist you. And so take it away, deputy. There is a body on the ground. It has what appears to be a slashing wound to the back. It is a long laceration. It is sitting in a pool of its own blood, and there is a heavy downpour. And it is in front of this statue that's covered in ivy that the locals know as the Promise of the Stars. And take it away, Aster.
All right, so what exactly did you see, Ms.
Oh, you can call me Scarlet.
Miss Scarlet? What did you see?
Well, I saw this man right here be murdered. It was tragic. It was gruesome. It was bloody. There was a weapon involved. It, you
Yes.
know,
Yes, as murders do. If we can skip over to, you saw the murderer, or
Yes.
you saw the murderer go that way.
Well, it was rather dark outside, you see, and the rain distorts the vision a little bit. But it was definitely a man. He had a hood pulled up and ran away with the murder weapon, which was a rather large, what do you call it, a sickle-looking thing. It was quite nasty looking.
All right.
Yes.
Amon, does this sound like matching with the descriptions we've had before?
Typically it's multiple slash wounds, but I guess it could be an aggressive sickle, like a...
Very aggressive.
As in the sickle is aggressive in itself.
I mean, I guess it could be a sentient sickle, but I meant like an aggressively large sickle, not one for harvesting wheat, like a thresher almost, like a large sickle.
The rain at this point is starting to interfere with your ability to hear each other speak.
Let's shout.
I mean,
Actually,
isn't that hard?
can I look at the body and see if the alleged murder weapon could have killed this person?
All right, so you're trying to discern if the type of slash wound in the back of this church-going man would be that of a sickle, correct?
Yep.
I understand your question
That is
correctly?
correct.
So go ahead and so my first question for you is, are you proficient in simple weapons?
I am, yes, and martial.
So go ahead and make an intelligence check with proficiency. Because
Okay.
you're proficient in weapons, you know how weapons work. You've slashed things yourself, so
Sure.
go ahead and make that sort of
So it's going to be
intelligence.
this plus 3. Ka-chow! 14.
Okay, so this is what you know. This most definitely could have been done by a sickle. Your guess is they were attempting to run away if it was, based on the position of the body, the depth of the wound. And your guess, too, is, while they were slashed by a sickle, that's probably not what killed them. They probably didn't die from bleeding out. In fact, there's not even that much blood in the area when you think about it. It could be washed away from the rain. It could have been cleaned up by the killer. You do have a witness, though.
Yeah, he kind of crouches down, like moves his coat back, and he kind of pokes at, like he probably has some kind of instrument, and he moves at like the jacket on the back of the guy, and he says, "It appears to be a slashing weapon. It could be a sickle."
What I said. Big sickle. Very aggressive.
You have that look on your face that says you're thinking more. What else?
There's a lot of rain, but there's no blood, or very little at least. I don't think it was the sickle that killed him. And if it wasn't the sickle that killed him, what was it? And why didn't he crawl for help? Why is he dead, strewn in the middle of the street?
Miss Scarlet, you said that you saw the attack?
Yes, it was big with the sickle, and then he fell forward. As you can see, he's on his frontal area, and it was raining. It was a bit, he couldn't really make out his face that well, but as he attacked him, fell forward, and then it looks like he bent over the body for a moment. I mean, he was very aggressive with the sickle. I wasn't going over there. This isn't my town. Just stopped into port for a drink, but then he moved on. Figured, oh, that was a murder. I should probably stand around and testify what I saw.
Right.
Yep.
Ma'am, you seem awfully comfortable around a corpse. Recently dead at that. And having seen a murder, in fact.
Oh, do I? Oh dear, there was a murder.
That's not how that usually works.
Tragic.
Not buying it.
I have a question for Lanrod. What is your mood and attitude being at this crime scene near? Now, you know the identity of suspect number 1 and have information more or less where the whereabouts would be. But I'm more curious about what your mood is to this situation.
My internet is horrible right now, so I will try to get this out. But as he is looking around, he basically staying very, very quiet, and he is just checking out the statue area, just reserved, not saying a word, no poker tells.
Got it. All right, back to the scene of the crime. So some questions you might want to consider as investigators might be the direction to where the suspect could have run. You do have a name through Lanrod that it is one Albert Whitewittle, who lives and works here in town. You might also be able to obtain some more information from Albert, as well as you are free to examine the body more closely and try to discern the cause of death, or take the body should you choose to move it someplace else. to find someone who could discern cause of death. There might also be some more clues in the immediate surroundings based on physical impressions left by the whoever fled. There might be some trace evidence of magic or things in the area. These are all things your characters would know as investigators.
Yeah, I think at this point, Aster is also going to lean down and start examining the body with gloved hands. Mostly looking at, is there any signs on the body that something else happened that wasn't just a sickle slash?
As you touch the skin, it feels burning hot. And I'm talking like hot soup. It's the soup plug for the day. It feels like hot boiling soup, and it feels almost as if tectonic plates are moving under his skin in a puzzle piece like fashion. That's the way it feels tactically when you touch his body with your gloved hands.
Yeah, so Aster is usually pretty straight faced, but she definitely. That's interesting.
It is. Very fascinating corpse right there. Very corpsey.
Well, it's more than interesting. Bodies normally don't heat up when they're dead. Nor do they move under their skin.
A warm dead corpse. I've never encountered one of those. In all my times as a witness to things.
Being a witness seems to be a full-time job for you.
It just happens very frequently.
No one concerned by that.
That's not our focus of the investigation today, Eamon.
Right. I have a curiosity. And he stands and begins to walk away, like the direction of the guy's feet are pointed. I'm more curious, Grant, where he was running from.
Okay. You can see, it looks like he was coming from the direction of, there's sort of these dingy row houses in the alleyway, just, vacant homes that are, beyond repair. Most of them are probably infested with horrible things of the night. It looks as though, your eyes kind of go down the street, and as you glance up, there is a tall, imposing building being drenched by the violent downpour. It looks like he was coming from the Church of the Raven Mother. Or at least that direction.
What do I know about that church?
You know that the Church of the Raven Mother is a new political power in town. It claims to be older than the Church of the Sun Prince, which was the only church that was known for decades around here. But they've been gaining more and more followers. Mm-hmm. They seem to be more lax in their self-imposed restrictions. There's also rumor that there has been some feuding between the ministry of that church and that of the Sun Prince. Sometimes erupting in violent confrontations between their followers.
Yeah, I think upon realizing this, he turns on his heel, doubles back, and he says, Aster, it appears as though the man or the pursuer could have been a member of the Church of the Raven.
Interesting.
The only important building I can see in the direction he was coming from was that church. Either he was a harasser or he was aggressed.
What little light is left in the sky is fleeing, and Aster knows this. The lamps are not lit. That is all I will say.
Hmm. Darkness is gonna descend on us all soon. Either we hurry up, or we find sanctuary somewhere, or we brave the dark.
I would hate to move the body from the scene, but... And he kind of looks up. It might not be here when the sun rises.
Do one last quick look around, see if there's anything around the body on the ground that may need any clues, and then we will bring this somewhere.
Are you looking with just your plain eyes, or is there any sort of magical investigative techniques you want to use?
Aster does not have any of those spells prepared that she could use to locate things.
What are some spells that she does not have prepared that she might have had access to?
Oh, cleric spells. There's ones that are like locate object or do so many spells. More of that.
I have ritual casting, so I could go for a like detect magic if you guys have 10 minutes.
Do we have 10 minutes before the sun goes down?
Oh no, the sun's already down. The last light has left the sky. With that said, it's dark now. While Landrod is casting detect magic, I need the rest of you to roll initiative, because as he begins to cast, there is a faint glow on all the appendages in the body of Pelias, the man who lies slain in the streets. So anyone roll lower than a 10? Nope. So you're going to go before the shadowlings that are creeping out of the dark alleyways and about to descend on the party. So we will go Scarlet, Landrod, Aster, then Eamon, and then the shadowlings will go. Now, if you're performing the ritual, you can stick with that.
Right, so there's a bunch of shadowlings.
Yeah, so there are these twisted shadow forms coming out of the alleyways. They seem to almost hover above the ground, and they're skittering towards you, and they're looking to tear your flesh from its bone.
Excellent. Is there one that appears to be a bit more separated from the rest?
No, they appear to be in a large, massive group.
Okay. I will go for one on the outside then, if possible. One that is that so that I can make sure there's nothing else next to me except for that one.
I say, please don't seduce a shadowling. I can't handle it. No.
Well, I have a very excellent persuasion initiative.
Sweep it off the shadow.
I will go slashing.
Yeah, you hit that one for sure.
Oh, and then I have a double sneak attack. Yeah. So and then, boom, boom.
All right.
And then I will back away with no opportunity attacks because I am a swashbuckler.
So you see, and this is the way it works, we're going to use the cleave damage variant with your 2-weapon fighting. Scarlet Setsuko whips out her slashy and stabby weapons and, like a whirling dervish, slays all the shadowlings so they dissipate. Yeah, that's enough because the shadowlings don't have a lot of hit points. They can hit fairly hard, but that's enough to show that they were no match for Scarlet Setsuko.
I will sheathe my scimitars basically, and then adjust my hat it's magnificent and it has like a feather on top. It's a beautiful pirate hat, and then just gonna stride back over, the heels of my boots clicking on the cobblestone. Right, but that was exciting.
And with that, the rest of the ritual passes without incident. There are a few lamplighters who reach the vicinity of where you are attempting to perform your ritual. Your lamplighter is a young lady wearing the clothes of a man that appear to be 2 sizes too large for her. She's using a 10-foot pole, and she's lighting a wick up above. As the light begins to fill the area dimly, the body of Pelias glows, and you can see he is covered in what looks like dancing runes going up and down his arms and around his back. They are difficult to read. Anyone who's trained in Arcana can attempt to discern. Okay, this is what you get out of it. The tongue is quite old. It appears to be predates the barony, but some of the words you make out of it are traitor, ordisterium, and veiled. And if you were to discern the sentence the best you could, he is being labeled a traitor to some sort of veiled ordisterium. Either Eamon or Aster, since they're locals, I'll allow you to make a history check. One of you can make it, whoever has the highest score, with advantage, since you're both helping each other, to see if any of those words mean anything to you.
I've got a +3.
I don't. Go ahead.
Okay.
So, history check with advantage of 12. You know that there is a state-sanctioned order of magic users known as the Veiled Mages of the Ordisterium. They don't live here in town, though. The nearest one is probably, 6 miles away down the Withered Road. You wouldn't be able to go after them till the morning.
State measures.
And Lanrod would know that Albert Whitewittle had talked about encountering one or two of them while traveling the Withered Road to see his girlfriend, who lives in the Erwile Bog, which is kind of a marshland in the nearby vicinity. He's dating a maid that lives out there, helps a small farm of some sort. And for those viewers that go, what do they grow in a bog? Cranberries. It's true.
That is true.
Ocean spray.
Ocean spray. Quite.
God damn it. Okay.
Alrighty. So with that, what does the party do now? You do have some light in the area. There's a lamplighter. And you know the direction that he was coming from, and you have some clue as to potentially who made sure that he stayed dead.
Who went to that? The killer. If I forgot to mention that earlier.
You did indeed
Well,
not mention it before.
you seemed very intent on this corpse.
Thorough investigation.
Should we see where he was staying? Verify if he was in fact a member of the Raven, or perhaps there's some evidence as to how he got these markings on him.
We could trace where he was coming from. It was the Erwile Bog. I was seeing a maid out there. Came this way and met a fell end, I believe.
But it's what happened in the middle that is the curious part.
You said there was a curious lack of blood, did you not?
I did.
Well, perhaps he was not killed here. Perhaps he was killed in between here and the Erwile Bog. Perhaps this is not the murder scene, but just the murder placement.
And, as the words leave your lips, he just has a very, distrustful
Strong
eye.
attraction to him?
No, distrustful eye on Scarlet. Because if what Lanrod says is true, then everything Scarlet said is an absolute lie.
Nothing she said was false. Everything she said was true, and everything Lanrod said was true as well. Deal with that one. Neither of them are speaking falsehoods.
Eamon doesn't believe that.
This is a safe place,
Next time I'll let you
Eamon.
handle it.
Everyone must speak the truth here. It's a nest of truth. My therapist told me.
It's always truthful in Driftchapel.
It's a
the
circle.
people's- So here's what you do know. Erwile Bog is roughly a half day's journey to get there. You could leave at night, though the roads would be extra dangerous. You could attempt to go to the Church of the Raven Mother. They do have an evening ritual and gathering and ceremony. So there are people there. Landrod also knows that Albert would be the gardener of that church. In the evening, he normally delivers packages for them. So he's out and about in Driftchapel right now. And then if you're looking for any other sort of information, you can describe to me how you'd like to get it. There are people in town who know things, both illegal things or information about the community. It's up to you to solve the mystery of where Albert is and arrest him. You are charged with arresting him. That is your ultimate goal.
Unless you'd like to make good do with the Gloam on the streets on the way out to the bog, I suggest that we wait until morning breaks for that. As for the church, we could try our hand there, unless many of you have brighter ideas.
Sounds fine to me.
Makes sense.
I'm just the witness here. I'm following along in case you have any more questions to ask. Bless you.
So far, is it Landrose or Landrod? I have two names written down.
Let's go with Landrod because that's what everybody's been calling me. It was originally Landrod. But Landrod
I realized, I was like, man, I said his name wrong. Then I was like, or maybe he wrote his name wrong.
I prefer Landrod, to be honest. I'm changing it right.
My main man, Landrod. You notice on the second story of the building, a hooded individual has been watching this entire ordeal from the window. And your inclination says they've probably been watching this spot for a long time.
And it's my opinion that no one else has noticed this?
You are the only person that's noticed this unless someone else has a passive perception of 15 or higher.
He would calmly make his way over to Aster and under the guise of, fiddling with a pipe or something equally benign, and say, across the street in the second story window, there's somebody very interested in what's happened here beyond simple morbid curiosity.
He doesn't look up. Church window or which?
It is a grocer who is on the north end of the statue. There is clearly a hooded figure watching. It's backlit by a lamp, so it's hard to see their face.
Do I know who owns this or who lives here?
You know everyone who lives everywhere in this town. You are a member of the company of the Black Flame.
Yeah.
So, there are two people who live there. And this is facts that your character would know. The first person you know there is the grocer, is one Stuart. And, he lives there with his grandmother, Carmen. And they're good church-going folk, too. But Carmen always has gone to the Church of the Sun Prince. Stuart's been going to the Church of the Raven Mother.
Well, Eamon, it seems like we're going to pay a visit to good Stuart.
Stuart.
Right, the grocer.
And Scarlet,
would you like to... Lanros would turn to Aster and say, would you like to know if he's guilty?
I'd like to know what whoever is in there, whether that's Stuart or somebody who killed Stuart and went in.
Are you ready to run? You ready to chase someone down?
Are you trying to insinuate something?
I'm saying that if I do what I'm going to do and someone starts to run, you should be ready to chase them. Are you prepared to chase them?
Whatever needs to get the job done, yes.
Okay, then Lanrod would point his finger and he would take a copper wire that dangles from one of his earrings and he would just kind of simply tuck it into the corner of his mouth. He would point his finger at the hooded figure and say, "What are you looking at? Are you a murderer?" And cast a message.
And you hear a voice return in your head that says, "No, but he is, and I saw him do it, and I saw how." Just no, go ahead.
This is
That's wonderful. Capital.
fascinating.
Perfect. What an easy day.
Do you like me? Circle yes or no.
Eureka!
Minor illusion on the window.
What's happening right now?
So the grocer, this is why Scarlet Setsuko was in the area. She stopped in town to get a drink, but she would have to stay here for the evening, and she was going to be provided room and board by Carmen, who is a friend of a distant relatives of her. Carmen herself used to be quite a successful pirate out on the high seas, but now she's in her,
They never caught her. They're always like, "Where in the world is Carmen San Diego?"
Carmen Driftchapel.
Yes.
Damn it.
They never caught her. It was brilliant.
Never caught her. She was great.
Always said, "Where in the world is
God.
Carmen?"
She was hard to catch in those games too when it got to that level.
Great hat.
Yeah, where do you think I got the idea from?
I found her at Gen Con.
Oh no.
True story.
So my question for the group is, do you want to investigate the grocers? You now know that there was a second witness to the crime.
Uh-huh.
And you know that if needed, Scarlet at least has access to this abode of Stuart the Grocer.
I do.
There's also the Church of the Raven Mother.
I prefer not to stay in church if at all possible.
What's wrong with church? Says the voice of a man kind of pushing a cart. If you could imagine the tinker guy from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, this is Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the Gene Wilder movie. Dare not go hunting for fear of little men. I am that guy, IRL. Yeah, he's just kind of pushing. He's like, "What's wrong with the church?" He says with his gnarled nose and his...
Nothing is particularly wrong with it. I'm just not its biggest fan.
Miss
Church-
Scarlet.
It's all well and good, but I prefer other things. You see a lot of this.
Just that
Yes.
do.
Deputy.
A lot of things.
Aster, we really need to get this man off the street.
I could suggest some things as well.
It appears to be getting a bigger and bigger thoroughfare. We need to get him off the street.
Yes.
The grocer
They
is the
They
closest.
got old Pelias, says the man pushing the cart.
Damn it.
Who did this? It was those blasted sun princes, wasn't it?
That's
Sir,
not-
at this time, we don't want to make a statement as to who may or may not have caused the murder. It's a current investigation, unless you have anything else to add.
Yeah.
That's all.
Who killed you, Pelias? And he casts Speak with Dead, and Pelias' head turns around, and before he can speak, his head is blown off by a hooded figure in an alleyway who has fired a blunderbuss between all of you, exploding his head, and then turns and flees into the shadows.
Well, there's a murderer.
Run.
Just-
Get it.
I want to shoot that guy.
The message comes down from the hooded figure and said, "Technically, he was already dead."
This guy needs to go.
Yeah, Lanrod would say, "Cart on! Cart on! Just take your cart and go!"
That's what he is. He's pushing. As soon as there is fire in the streets, he's like, the Sun Princes, they're invading. They're going to kill us. And he's charging towards the church. Your guess is he's going to raise a beggar mob.
That's fine. Nothing like a good mob in the evening.
It's like a distraction.
It certainly is. Very entertaining. Especially when they get the pitchforks and the torches all going. Ah, it's quite a spectacle.
Last thing that Driftchapel needs is another mob.
Can I shoot that
point
guy?
of order, shouldn't you chase the person that just blew off his head?
Yeah, I'd like to shoot him. This is what I'd like to
That
do.
is what you said first.
You need to see a target. He's down the alleyway. Are you going to chase him into the alleyway?
I'm a trained sharpshooter, so I'm just gonna drop to a knee and shoot him.
No, because you can't see him. You need to shoot targets you can see.
Well,
and wall cover because the building's in the way.
Damn it,
so
Grant.
you would have to run into the alley, which you can do, and then you'll probably get a fair shot.
Then I will run into the alley and shoot him
This is important. Okay, yes.
right
I
out
will
of the
run
light.
With him as a human shield.
Perfect.
And I love that. Like he has a little strap in the back of his jacket that you just slide your arm through and you walk following.
Right.
It's crazy Dragon Age walk cycles.
I pull his pocket inside out and follow behind.
All right, so Eamon, go ahead and take a shot. You see that figure running, and it is moving at an otherworldly speed. But you can still take a shot. What weapons do you have, and do you want to reflavor them as a flintlock weapon?
Yeah, I have a flintlock pistol, rifle, and a whip.
All right, so at this range, it's probably best to use your rifle.
Done. I will use my rifle. Kapow!
Now, it is dimly lit, so you would be at disadvantage. There's also a heavy rain. However, a 16 is good enough to hit, and you definitely hit. Is there anything else you have to add? You hit with the rifle?
Yeah.
Rifle's 1d12, I believe.
Is it? I just stole a longbow.
Yeah, I'll double check. So rifle is 1d12 piercing damage. I'm going to assume that you rolled a 12 because you rolled the maximum. So
Yeah, so 12 plus 3 is 15 damage.
all right, 15 damage.
And I'm trying to not kill the guy. So hit him in, the thigh to make him falter is my goal here.
Cool. You have definitely slowed him down with that ammunition. What would the rest of the party like to do? Landrod's behind. This gent is probably about 45 feet beyond those of you that can see. Aster, what do? You've heard the shot of black powder in the night.
Yeah, she is the guy who is like, I'm gonna go, the Sun Prince people are invading. Is he still headed off?
Yeah, he's headed towards the church of the Raven Mother.
Yeah, I really can't have a fuss about this for my investigation. Do.
So you're going to drag him over one of the walkways and toss him into the water and hold his head down. Sorry. I want Canada to get dark in this game.
Yeah, I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds.
So, all right. How does that work in the fiction? So, go ahead.
Being of the Order of the Black Flame, I am tasked with striking down those that will impede justice. And, well, this guy's going to impede justice if he continues on his way.
So inflict wounds. Does he have to make a save? Do you have to make an attack roll?
I just make an attack roll.
All right. Is there a range on that? Do you have to run up and touch him, or describe to me how this looks?
It is a touch, so
all right. So yeah, you can totally get up to him and slap a hand on him. She takes a quick, brisk walk over and places a hand on his shoulder and says, "Look, Damien, I can't stop you doing that." And cast inflict wounds. All right. He has an armor class of 8 given his limp. So what did you get?
Oh my god.
You're one of them, aren't you? He says. as his eyes widen, "You're in league with the devil, children!" And he pulls out one of his butcher blades and tries to gut you. So I'm going to see if he can chop you, because that's what he would do. 16,
Nope.
what's your armor class?
17.
Are you like wearing armor or something?
I am wearing armor.
Yeah, so he's just like, "Kink!" and it like awkwardly, like his blade bends all wrong, and he's like, "No!" and drops his knees and starts begging for mercy, because he realizes now that he could die this instant. Cutting to Scarlet Setsuko, and then Landrod.
Yes.
You're like, "I'm going to bed."
So, let me get this straight. She's trying to kill a witness to the crime who is going to raise a mob, and then the deputy is shooting at someone in an alley who's probably a bit out of my reach.
Yeah, so technically this individual didn't witness the crime. He stumbled upon you all. He was a teacher
And now
wheeling
she's trying to kill it. I can get down with this kind of law enforcement. I will assist her pulling out my short swords, and we can blame this on the murderer as well. I will try to recreate the sickle wound.
Stabby and slashy.
I will stabby slashy away. Slashy, stabby. Oh wow!
Oh no!
I'm so good at this.
And
and
this
then
is on the Tinker guy?
Yes. Hold on.
He only has 5 HP.
Well, it's going to be real messy.
It's
That's
all
my
over the
second.
streets now.
And then I got this and that. There we go. There we go.
His
Real
5 HP is all over the streets.
Well, he is no more. His liver falls out, his spine unplucks, his kidneys are pierced, and he is expertly sickled.
If I get like a kidney on my short sword, can I like hide it behind my back?
Yes.
Like slide a hand into my pocket? Just
Yep. Save it for later.
What
Yes.
are you?
She's
not.
worse
I
than
definitely not a cat.
Picked a bad day to be political, didn't you, Cotboy?
All right, Lanrod, you're up. So there is about 45 feet away an individual in the night cloaked running. They have taken a major wound.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to cast, since it's a 60-foot range, I am going to drop in front of him a bonfire. As I create a bonfire 60 feet away that he would have to pass through and burn himself up, or perhaps to scare him as I create the bonfire to drive him back towards us.
Okay.
Bonfire!
All right, so you create the bonfire. And now the bonfire is a 5-foot cube. This is a tight alleyway, so he would have to go through the bonfire in order to get through it. Or he can turn back and face you, which he might. So do you have any bonus actions or other maneuvering you'd like to do?
Oh no, his internet died.
He's just in shock. It's fine.
He's utterly shocked by your question.
He's processing. He takes a moment.
Yeah, just thinking.
We'll come back to poor Gregory when he. Whoa! He's back.
Sorry.
It's okay. I was just asking if there's anything else you wanted to do on your turn aside from creating the bonfire.
He's going to create a bonfire, and then he is going to drop back and allow Eamon to take care of everything physical. He's just going to cast it and drive him back, and then hide, or just lean or something.
All right. The individual stops to return fire on Eamon now that he has taken a massive hit of damage. What is Eamon's armor class?
13.
He does not hit, and you are perfectly good.
Sweet.
So he fires, Shot misses, blows right past Landrod, and it is now Eamon's turn.
I'm gonna shoot my pistol. Or my so how do
Rifle?
flintlocks write? Do they can I shoot a second time, or how does that work?
Well, it's a new round, so yes.
Okay, cool.
We'll just assume you load. You just can't, unless you have crossbow expert. I'd let you reload it.
I have extra attack, but I don't think that applies here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to rifle this guy. And I assume since it's a giant bonfire now, I don't have disadvantage?
No, you can see him fine.
16.
Is enough to hit.
Perfect. He only takes 5 damage because screw me.
Well, roll. Okay, you got it fixed.
Yeah, I fixed it with a 12. Yep, so he takes 5 more damage. Again, I'm aiming low, like legs, to cripple this guy.
Yeah, understood. Understood. Another way we could describe it is you're corralling him to the point where he could be subdued,
Yes.
but wounded. Yeah, so...
Yeah, so I think he's like dropped down on one knee. His like arm is over his knee, the rifle's over his arm, and he's just...
Yeah, you're trying to blast him into submission. Let's move to Aster's turn.
So there's blood all over her from the now eviscerated Damien.
Yeah.
She doesn't show her surprise.
His sad eyes, horrifying expression on his face.
I like give a little like sword salute, like just helping you out, deputy.
Thank you.
Surprise me. I'd be a fantastic member. Like, look, I've killed everything I've set my swords to so far today.
Right.
Very efficient. 2 for 2.
The bells in the church are starting to ring out.
Do I know these bells to be the beginning of the evening rituals, the end?
You know that it is a part of the ritual, so it's neither the beginning nor the end, it's somewhere in the middle. You're not too familiar with their actual ordinances, as you are not a member, but you know that normally a lot of people go in, a few hours pass, the bells ring out, then people come out 5 or 10 minutes later.
Okay.
They march the streets with lanterns.
Damon was pushing a cart, was that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna just kind of take what's left of his body and just put it in the cart.
What else is in the cart? Just a curiosity.
A variety of kitchen utensils, soup ladles, bowls, plates. And to you, but to a cuisinaire.
Yes, well, I'm more interested in his left kidney, which is in my pocket for later. So.
Oh, get it
so
on some ice.
I dump his body in there, and then I start heading towards the direction of the gunshots.
All right. So, Scarlet Setsuko, your turn.
Yes. All right. Well, can I get to the man in the alleyway that we are shooting at?
You would not be able to get in melee range of him, but you could get within range.
Oh, what if I dash as a bonus action because I'm a rogue and I can do that?
You'd still probably be about 10 feet away. But let's go ahead and say you can just full-on Scarlet Setsuko rush and get over there.
Awesome.
We only know approximate distances in this game.
All right, sure. Then I won't be able to stab you, but I'll still be able to slash you. Attempt to. So.
Please don't crit him again.
Not a crit, but a good hit for sure, and some sneak attack because I'm the only person in melee range, I believe. So.
Ta-da!
Swashbuckler.
Right. You're swashbuckler, and he is swashbuckled as he takes it looks like 16 combined points of damage over his.
Not a crit. It's like half the damage.
Yeah. So with that, we move to Landrod's turn. Who you see Scarlet Setsuko go running past you. Aster is coming down. You see that a man has been butchered in the streets.
God.
The dripping kidney is kind of leaking out of Scarlet's back pocket, as leaving this sort of trail of juices, life-giving juices. And the cart is adorned with plates, cups, bowls, silverware that he was looking to sell.
The person that I bonfired, did they turn around and come back? Are they still active in this combat, or are they?
Yeah, they turned around and were taking shots at Eamon from range.
And they're still standing, correct?
And now I'm over there.
100%.
I'm standing right next to them.
Eamon, do we want this person alive or not?
Of course we want him alive. He shot the dead man's head as he was about to speak again. I mean,
I can do very little to keep him alive.
Oh, we want him alive! And that's a good thing you told me this now.
as I didn't plan for you to be a whirling dervish in the alleyway.
She's a witness, for God's sakes, and she's taking an active role in this.
Murdering. More murdering, I believe, is the term.
It is.
I was assisting the deputy. I'm assisting
But in Driftchapel.
Okay, well, I'm going to... I don't skip to my loo. I'm going to...
Don't think it's going to help you.
Okay, I will, just to try to stop this guy, I'm going to cast message again and point at the guy down the... Be like, you're going to die. Just put your weapons down and talk to us. Just don't be so crazy.
You just dad him. Stop it. I'm disappointed.
You are being awful.
Boy comes back and says, I'm already dead.
Well then, shit. He's already dead, everyone.
We won D&D, guys. He was already dead.
I'd say we're fairly fucked here, so just have at him. That was my actions.
All right then.
Well, shit.
He's like, we're in this together, and he and Lanrod join forces and rebuild Driftchapel. They go, from this day we are Habitat for Humanity workers, and we're going to rebuild Driftchapel. They were both claimed by the Gloam 2 days later.
Well, I'm nailing down some shingles with Jimmy Carter. How are you, President? Oh, I'm fine. He's wonderful.
All right, so this individual is now engaged with Scarlet Setsuko, drops his blunderbuss, draws 2 short swords, and casts darkness on her face. And
That's
you don't
fine.
see him anymore.
That's fine.
That is his turn. You all can no longer see in the alleyway, not the bonfire or anything. There is an orb of darkness.
Well, shit.
It's a little dark. Is someone turn off the lights?
I think I have a thing.
Can I counterspell that?
Oh.
Yes,
Or
I will let you. It is an ability, but it is a magical ability, and your counterspell is a higher level than what it would be. So yeah, the darkness is gone.
Oh, thank you. Nice.
Stop that. If you're dead already, that's fine, but you don't be rude about it.
Stop being a shit.
And we're back to Eamon.
Yeah, the darkness clears, and he fires another shot at this fucking guy. He's got to go. Like, non-lethal again. Ka-chow! Get wrecked. Why 4? What? This is butts, guys. 4 damage. Yeah, it's true.
You said you wanted it non-lethal.
Yeah.
You're doing a great
You're
job.
doing a great job of non-lethal
That's enough.
damage.
He gets hit. He's like, all right. Just as long as she stops stabbing me, I'll surrender.
Goes against my nature, but I suppose we want to interrogate him, right?
Yeah, yes, of course.
Right.
That's
Then
why-
just walk back to get interrogated. I'm going to pick up your blunderbuss.
You can't have my blunderbuss.
I said I wasn't going to keep it. I said I was going to pick it up. I don't trust you with it. You shot my friend. You can have it back after the interrogation.
He was your friend?
I feel
Well,
like...
I feel like we've developed a real bond of camaraderie in all of this.
I'm very torn in this
A
entire...
captain always supports her crew.
I don't... I feel like if you're dead, you don't have rights, and that is now her blunderbuss.
Ooh, if that's the case, that's even better.
All right.
I have to check my book, but this way.
Wait. All right. So you've taken...
And I'm gonna, like, bonus action, like, kind of turn around and eat that kidney real quick and then join the rest.
Oh, no!
Yeah.
She ate the kidney.
Okay.
So a
Casually.
blunderbuss does 2d6 piercing damage.
Excellent.
It's a
And
Gloam
it is an
kidney, so
action
watch
to
out.
reload. Rifles are also an action to reload, but I'm okay with us, your sharpshooter guy. And
Plus, I had extra attack, so I think the secondary attack would be reloading it.
Yep, that's fair enough. We'll give them some feedback on the playtest.
I've got a blunderbuss. Excellent.
So yeah, you have the blunderbuss now, and it's a fun word to say.
It is.
Scarlet, I need you to roll a
Yes.
d20
Yes.
after eating the kidney.
Oh, okay. This is fantastic. This is, you chop up one utensil man in the street, and then...
It's a Gloam kidney. You gotta watch out for those.
Is it a Gloam kidney? I mean, he seemed pretty alive. A 4.
Dialysis.
All right.
Gloam dialysis.
It's quite tasty.
You notice as you have the blunderbuss,
Yes.
and you simply, you take it, you ready it, and then you just chuck it as far as you can, and then slashy and stabby as well, and they stick into the walls, and you just feel your heart begins to race, your vision's starting to go a little blurry, and you feel as though you are dying.
Oh dear. I feel like I'm dying all of a sudden.
Excellent. That's my favorite kind of dialogue, especially in like 90s video games. I feel as though I am dying. The
Oh
man.
dear. And I feel like she'd drop down to her knees. I would never normally throw my swords away. This is very strange. I must be dying.
Aster had probably finally gotten to the alley as this whole situation.
Yeah. You see, as Aster comes in the alley, Scarlet, you now have full control over yourself, and you can reclaim.
I feel better.
Oh, you're just
I
like
got
the
better.
overactor. Oh, a guest! This is what death is. I am fallen.
I really felt like I was dying there for a moment because I threw my sword and I've never done that before. And I'll just kind of pull back.
I believed it.
Thank you. It was quite traumatizing. I'm not going to lie. And I'll pick up the plunder.
A little pea came out of me.
God.
Yeah, Aster walks up next to Eamon and just places a very bloody hand on his shoulder.
We got him. A boss. And he stands up, slings the rifle, and pulls out his manacles and starts to walk over to this other guy and shackle him up. Ignoring the blood dripping down.
Shackling him?
Yeah!
He's like, whoa. Hey. You're the one that's been improperly using those flintlocks, and I just thought that was a zombie coming to life and was about to eat you all.
It doesn't...
It started moving. I'm dead man.
Unfortunately for you, it doesn't matter what you think, as I am the
What
assistant.
crime did I commit? What crime? Are you locking me up? What crime did I commit? He starts calling.
You just shot a man. And then you shot at a police officer.
Who opened fire on me without any warning or saying or identifying himself as a police?
You shot a man in the streets.
Technically, he's not a man. He's a skeleton. He's a corpse.
You were interfering
Ow.
with the investigation.
Thank you,
of
ma'am.
I didn't know there was an investigation going on. Nothing was blocked off. No one had identified themselves as police officers. I'm just...
I'm not a police
It's
officer.
1902! What do you want
There's
from me?
one
Let's
thing-
go.
There's one thing. Scarlet Setsuko and Lanrod both know liars when they see one. They know this guy's really, really reaching. But it's almost impressive the
It's
length.
very impressive. Have you ever thought about becoming a sailor?
Don't encourage him.
I'm just looking for new recruits, is all.
I know. Perhaps after
yes.
he is released from prison.
Yes, Eamon, please just...
You'll do it.
Yeah. And as he's like, what are you doing? I'm grabbing him and shackling him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You've got him, and he's like full on Disney's Robin Hood. After everyone, they all got a hold of him when he was in front of Prince John.
What do you mean you're already dead? You look quite alive.
Look.
Hyperbolic.
Yeah, he kind of sees you, and then he does a little like. He's like, if I had hands, I'd do one of these. Goddess aside. He's like, one of these, and then he's just
like he does this like out the side.
Yeah. He's like, hey, awkward turtle swims. He's like, hey.
Wow, I haven't seen awkward turtle in forever.
Yeah. So he kind of awkward turtles it, and he's just kind of like, I left the family, so to speak.
Oh.
And the family's not happy about that.
The family, this family.
Yeah. Both.
Why would you go do a ridiculous thing like that?
It's. I'm gonna level with you. I'm gonna be honest. I was never really into it. Like, I joined it because I was seeing this girl at the time, and she was very persuasive, and she made a lot of sense. And then I realized she didn't make any sense at all. It was the booze, the drinking. That's what.
Well, that's why you never stopped drinking, my good friend.
But I did stop drinking. I had to from doing good, and I was. Yeah, I know, but I did, and so now I've got problems. I'm really not into this slumbering sea goddess shenanigans. If you got to lock me up and you got to clap me up, that's fair. But I can tell you where Albert Whitewittle is.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say a slumbering sea goddess?
I say all kinds of things
about a slumbering sea. Did you hear anything about the slumbering sea? I heard nothing.
Sleep in Trawler's Bay. We all know this. It's a story that's been in this area for decades. What kind of?
But you insinuated as though you were worshipping a slumbering sea goddess.
Who was?
Not particularly.
Sure, definitely.
You said you very much weren't into the sea goddess, as if you had friends that were into, which would mean there's some kind of worshippers, I'd say.
You're back in high school and you really do like her, and you're saying you're not into her.
Oh, that is a thing that can be. He's just in denial of how much into.
Look, the artwork's pretty impressive, and so are the statues and the
tentacles. You can't deny that the tentacles aren't very.
Ma'am, Deputy Astor, I believe that this
his pupils dilate at the weird tentacles.
This is the inner workings of a cult, I believe.
Again, this is not the main focus of our investigation.
You're right. Murder. Got it.
Yes.
I understand.
Do I know if there's like...
The cult of the Wandering Sea Goddess.
Oh, God, okay. So we have a dead body. We actually have 2 dead bodies.
And a cult.
And we have this witness guy, still the person in the grocery, and the church.
Yes.
Astor has too many things.
And the former cultist.
This guy claims he knows where Albert Whitewittle is.
Oh.
I thought Albert Whitewittle was dead.
Albert Whitewittle is the one you're seeking to arrest.
Yes, he has the sickle. The big, a very aggressive sickle.
He has the sickle. Pelias is the name of the man who was killed in the street.
Pelias is correct.
Yes.
Me and my ridiculous names get confusing. Unless you have a list of them right next to you on screen, it tends to get...
And then there was that kitchen cutlery person? I don't know.
Yes.
No, he was just a poor...
He was going to start a lynch mob, which I was very excited about. The deputy seemed to be against it, so now I'm all for law and order, so I did my best.
That's not out of the realm of possibility. As you can see down the way, the lantern lights of the marching procession of the Church of the Raven Mother is beginning their nightly walk.
Oh, we should get these bodies out of the way. Can we put them into this cart and hide the cart somewhere? If they're doing the nightly walk, they might turn it into a mob rather quickly if they see dead bodies.
There's a waterway 2 blocks down that you can dump them into.
Oh, that's even better. Hiding bodies. Let's throw them into the waterways.
Grant, don't help her be a monster.
How far away is the closest order of the flame?
It's the other side of town.
Oh, God damn it.
Well, I'll just start scooping up this one that I minced up personally. I should clean up after myself, and I'm just like...
Licking your fingers.
I definitely do that. There's a canal right there. It'll be fine. I'll be right back.
This church of even mother worshippers so sacrilegious.
I like that. Like Astra's just too old. Like sacrilegious. Astra's just too old to give a shit anymore, and Scarlet's clearly a monster. And Eamon's like, is no one fucking?
I'm not a monster.
No one.
Meanwhile, Landrod's just waiting to use that dirigible I gave him.
Right.
I have a blunderbuss now.
Look.
I'll also just grab a handful of like random
I have a
kids,
Zeppelin?
shove it in the blunderbuss on my way. All right.
Yeah, I just turn to Scarlet and says, just don't let them or anyone else see it.
Oh, I'm quite stealthy, and I will sneak away with this corpse. I've like stuffed it into like a big soup potty hat on the back of his cart, and I'm whistling my way, like not whistling, but I'm like sneaking my way down to the canal. I wish I was whistling, but I'm supposed to be quiet, so I'm just like occasionally I'll like just
get a little taste of what's left.
That's like when you have the big bowl of popcorn, you're walking back to your seat in the movie theater.
Say like a bay crab, and you've had the meat. Now you're just like fingering the crab gut, and you're like, yeah, this crab mustard just.
Jesus. Remember that time we fingered that crab gut? Yeah, fantastic.
Greg, remember the last time you said, I want to be a player? And then this happened.
It's like, oh, I'd love to play under Grant Ellis. And I'm like, yeah, give me play testing some material. We'll do a murder investigation.
We're sucking the guts out of crabs. What?
It's like when you're getting like the crawfish tails, the crawfish heads, and you just gotta.
Yeah.
So as Scarlet's doing that, Astra rounds on the guy who's shackled.
Yeah.
You knew where Robert? I don't know. What the fuck is his name?
Albert.
Albert. There we go. Albert.
Albert Whitewittle, I think.
Albert went. Get it out?
Yeah. He fled town, and he's going to go stay with his girl.
Of course he is.
At the Erwile Bog, right?
Yeah, that's what he says.
Bingo. I said this before all the murder.
Oh, yes. But it is good to get a second opinion in an investigation.
After the murder.
Because at this point, I'm arrested now. He says, he goes, there's no prison can hold me. I can do this.
No person can hold me.
I don't understand. Do what? I've already caught you. You're captured.
Yeah, but then I'm going to have to be arrested. Then you're going to have to release me. Then I'm going to have to stand trial.
No, I'm arresting you right now.
Yes, I'm arrested. I don't know for what crime other than some made up stuff.
Oh my God, he's trying to escape Firebolt.
You're currently being arrested for belief in cultist activities. There. That's illegal.
What do you believe in?
Not
Eamon?
Cults.
I believe in Firebolt.
In this moment, I'm just dumping in like the soup bowl of meat I chopped up, and I'm like, oh, wandering sea goddess, accept this delicious.
A pair of eyes look up at you from under the waterway, and they're glowing a faint orange color, and they're looking right at you. And you can kind of see that there is long tentacles coming out from where it stands.
Yes, it is a delicious sacrifice. I made sure it was of appropriate flavor before bringing it over here.
Small tentacles are kind of grabbing little bits of
water, like a bucket of chum. I'm just.
They're pulling it. Yeah, you're
saying a little prayer.
Very, very well.
All right. Then I'll make the sun, the wandering sea goddess, and about it. I will do my best to come up with another sacrifice forthwith, but unfortunately, the law is on my tail, so I must play it cool.
What are you doing?
What? I'm like a canal 2 streets away. Hold on.
After all the chum is fed to this creature, it begins to rise and emerge, and it has a a dank and slippery texture. It is a dark green color, and it is rising, hunched over, almost like a great ape, except it's coming up out of the sea, and it seems to want more. What do you do?
Well, I know exactly where another corpse is. I will bring it right here to you immediately. And I will... Oh.
It's following, and it's maintaining pace.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, they'll believe me that my cult's real after this. So maybe, if I have proof that my god exists. What about you?
We cut camera back to the scene of the crime. So, Mr. Man that you have tied up, and he's like gone on, and he's like on like the third verse of We Shall Overcome. And
do I see like any other person from the order? Because I can't be me and my partner can't be the only ones.
You and Eamon, this is your beat, and this is your investigation. Other people have other crimes to tend to in Driftchapel, and you might want to clear out of these streets soon, because that the marching order. Here's a quick question, just in case I missed it. Did you dispose of Pelias's body, or is it still there?
It's still there.
Okay.
Not for long.
I was planning to bring it with me.
Okay. So let's establish a couple of things that might have happened to the fiction while the camera was moving around.
I'll never know.
So it's like Clue. Just pour a bunch of alcohol in his mouth and be like, here he is. Smells drunk. Dead drunk.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yes. So my question is, for you all, did you hang around and wait for the Church of the Raven Mother ritualist to come down the corridor, or did you quickly try to dispose of the other body?
I don't want to mess with the church, so I just want to be out.
What other body? Wait a minute.
The original body.
Pelias's body.
Oh, Pelias's body. No, I don't think we disposed of that. We didn't want to move it.
But the question is,
Astor wants to take the body and leave.
Yes.
Okay. You do that. So where are you headed? Are you headed back to the headquarters? Where are you taking this body? You're moving this body. There's many places in town. You could take it to a funerary home. You could take it to your headquarters. But it is, in fact, a dead body that you have to drag through the streets.
Yeah.
Covered in runes that are moving all about it.
Do we have a medical facility in our headquarters?
Not in your headquarters, but there's a doctor that you keep on retainer not too far from it.
Okay. But we have a place we can put a body that's not like, on the fine china, right?
For sure.
Okay. I would suggest we do that. We bring him there.
Yeah. I'm going to.
Grant,
Yes.
Can I arcana the moving runes on his body? I know that you said they were hard to read before.
They were hard to read. That's what you got. I'll let you try again, and this time with advantage. A lot of time has passed, and you've had opportunity to.
I would also like to try that. I am. Trained.
No, so here's how that's going to work. One of you roll with advantage. Whoever has the higher score.
I
it's
also
the same
have
as
a 4, so go ahead. You
So-
have advantage.
Yeah.
19.
So 19. So this is what you know. These runes were put on this individual by the veiled mages of the Ordisterium. And these mages, the nearest one lives in a tower about 6 miles away, which the road that breaks off where that tower is does lead into the Urwal Bog. These things you know. And you do know that these mages are endorsed by members of the barony. The Baroness herself, whose name is Yesenia Foxglove. Baroness Yesenia Foxglove. She had a bloody rise to power. And this is all true, and you know that these runes were put on this individual, and these runes most likely drained the life essence out of him. And that he was marked as a traitor.
Yes, he was a traitor to the veiled Ordisterium.
Ordisterium, yes.
Yes, that one. But everything seems to point towards the Wild Bog, which I said
Yes, that you said.
45 minutes ago.
Lanrod, if I'm not mistaken, these are life-draining.
I did say Wild Bog, yes.
Oh, you did say that. Yes, I agree. My question is, if I'm not mistaken, correct my archaic math, but these are life-draining runes, yes?
They appear to be, yes.
Why would then someone also stab him to death?
To make it look like someone stabbed him to death. Ta-da!
After this point, it's picking up the body.
Recently learned I'm a bad detective.
I cast reduce on the body and slip him in my man purse.
You cast reduce on my ego and learn I'm a bad detective.
Recently learned.
Just now, as a matter of fact, I just put it together. But yeah, I think Eamon grabs the feet and like helps Aster lift this guy.
Wooden leg named Spitz. Sorry. Yeah, you pick up. I wanted to see Greg's response. We need to do the Mary Poppins, the role-playing game sometimes. I get to be Mr. Banks. Although I think I'd make a good bird.
You're Mary
But
Poppins.
that's it.
I want
Yeah,
to be
you carried him up and you're moving him. Lindy is Mary Poppins. I've lived through that. So you begin carrying him through the streets. And you have carried him. Were you taking him to your headquarters or to the doctor that's kept on retainer by the Order of the Black Flame?
We're taking him to the doctor.
All right. The doctor's is currently closed for the evening. There is a dim light on the inside. And we can assume that... now, here's my question. Was Scarlett going to stay at Stewart's, or is she following this...
I was going to be bringing this thing back to where the other body that I saw was.
Oh, you're being chased by a deep one.
I am.
Roll initiative.
I am being... Well, no, he's following me. I'm showing him where the thing is. I worship him. It's fine.
Roll initiative. No!
I mean, I roll initiative.
We have friends.
But yes, I'm watching him and I am doing
would
more
refuse.
sacrifices because that is what I do.
That
I'm
might
a
be
very
enough.
loyal and devout worshipper of the cult of the Wandering Sea Goddess.
All right. So, okay. So you have a 24 for initiative. So you're going to get... you essentially have advantage over this, and you do know based on your passive insight
Yes.
that he would love to engage you, but he can't. He's a little too cowardly.
Aha. Well, I am a fearsome pirate captain. Now that the police aren't here, I can say that out loud. So instead, we'll find him a delicious snack. So.
All right. You return back to where the ivy-covered statue was.
Yes.
You notice the body is gone. The party is gone. You can see a trail of blood that's dripping from where they're carrying the body.
Yeah,
And a group of 24 individuals carrying lanterns have appeared on the scene. They see you running. They're chanting and they're walking. And the deep one, this sort of aberration, toad-like body, big bulbous eyes, teeth like an anglerfish, just kind of it comes out and it's like, and it sees them all, and they all see it, and they all start screaming, and he just goes charging towards that mob.
Excellent. Can I trip the person in the rear?
You can trip them in the feet, unless you want to. Never mind. All right.
Zero of the procession. You know, basically the one who's slowest to start turning around.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Excellent. I can do that.
Tomfoolery falls under sleight of hand today.
12. Not great, not awful.
It's good enough. Whoa! It's like sort of falls
no.
on different
This
streets.
thing is chasing me. I happen to fall. Oh, I caught you in my fall. Here you go. It's delicious.
Yeah, and you notice he grabs and he's trying to tear it into it. The rest of the worshippers. have
Oh no!
scattered.
Scatter, everyone! Scatter! Dangerous sea beastie!
All right. And do you want to follow the bloody trail of your allies, or do you want to go to Stuart's?
Well, Is that like? Is it like? Do I think that this one guy is going to satiate my good holy avatar of the cult of the sea god, of the wandering sea goddess, or am I going to need additional sacrifices?
Wait, did you kill another guy?
She tripped one up, and now the deep one is trying to eat a group of 24 Raven Mother worshippers.
Okay, just making sure that's what I heard.
Yes.
Well, if you haven't played with Lindy very much, you should know that it is just a parade of murder.
Yeah.
That it just happens. You know, she's throwing candy, and there's just corpses. So,
The first game I ran for Lindy, she killed my boss fight in one round, and 8 foes died and were torched. And then she wrote a limerick about it that went viral. And I just sat there like, who did I invite to my game?
No, I only played that one episode of Cthulhu, and she got killed, and then I had to re-kill her corpse.
Oh,
that was the only time.
Well, that was called Cthulhu. This is D&D.
Already.
It's a very different experience.
So that creature is attacking the
Does
cultist.
it look like he's going to win? How competent do these work?
Your guess is it's a 50-50. What I'd like you to do now is roll a D100, and on a 51 or up, he gets it. On a set or below, you would have to
try to help him out a little bit. On the
This
down.
is, oh no! She's been taken by the Gloam.
I mean, no, I just,
It's good luck if you're a pirate to feed a
is.
deep one every now and then.
It is. It's gold. I'm going to receive a boon and a blessing from my culty
Slumbering
goddess.
sea goddess.
Yes. 75.
75. He's going to win this round.
Excellent. I give him a little salute, and then after I trip a few more cultists, maybe like accidentally break someone's knees, and then
accidentally break their knees. You have a golf club, and you're just like, no.
I'm
Please.
just like, oh no! And I shove them down to the ground real hard, like I'm tripping again, trying to escape from this madness. And it's just he's like a really old guy, and so the cobblestone's real hard, and and then I
A really old man.
Yes.
I like that we're trying to solve a murder by just dragging a serial killer around with us.
I didn't kill any of these people. I just facilitated in the deaths. Now
You've killed at least 2 people.
killed some shadows and one other person.
Okay.
I'll give it a deep bow, a deep respectful bow. Take off the hat and everything.
I know there's some hippie person like talking to their best friend right now. No, you don't understand. Dungeons and Dragons is a game of collaborative role playing. Here, let me just show you some random show on Twitch. And then I kick the old man in the kneecaps, and then he dies as I lick the fingers. And where the kid.
I will like dip my fingers in.
76. I bash his head in with a rock.
It's like
They worship the cult of the slumbering sea monster. And then like the mother takes the laptop and throws it into the wall. She's like, Several worship. And I do it.
Worship.
Lindy is the sole cause of the satanic panic of 2018.
I'll just dip my finger. I'll just dip my whole hand and like a nice open wound and like lick it like a lollipop as I follow the trail of blood to the rest of these deputies.
Sweet Jesus.
And with that, we cut back. She's going to show up about 3 rounds later. We're at the front door of at Dr. Hudson's house. And Dr. Hudson, there is a light on upstairs, but there is no answer at the moment when you knock.
It's such a long-winded sigh,
She's done and tired with all this already. She might already know what's happening over on the other side of town, but she's done.
She's like, I'm 2 days from retirement, and this is all I got. She's the jaded veteran.
She's standing over people in front of church, and it's like, it's so odd. All these murders are all in the same place.
It's the strangest thing. It's as if there's a cult active here.
For eldritch activity.
Eamon bangs on the door as hard as he can and repeatedly as he tries to put this on rails. He just Doc, and he's like, Marty, we gotta anyway, and he's calling for the doc.
All right, and with that, the upper window of the house shatters as the doctor's body is thrown from the window and it falls into the streets below. Meanwhile, your tied up guy's like, dang, he was my next hit. I mean, looks at you guys.
Firebolt! back of the head.
He's got like burn spots, bald spots, patches.
I drop the legs that I'm carrying of this guy, the Rooney moving guy.
When I break someone's knees, it's a horrible way.
He was already dead.
He's already dead. So yeah, the doctor's thrown. He's alive. He appears to be unconscious, but he's bleeding profusely.
Yeah, Aster also somewhat respectfully places down the body and heads over to the doctor.
Landrod is kicking
out what's
dirt
up there.
into the body of the doctor, giving him a proper burial. Ashes to ashes.
Ashes to action, funk to funky. We know Major Tom's a junkie, and then you sprinkle a little bit on his head.
Yeah, and as she just goes over there today, I'm gonna figure out what that is.
It's a corpse. What?
I mean, whatever threw him out the window.
And he throws his body weight against the most likely locked door.
All right, the door is it. I'd love to have someone open it as you go to hit it, and like you go, whoa! I love doing that. To players.
Cartoon.
Yeah, it locked. Then I just open it on like the third one. I love messing with people like that. Not this case. You knock it open. There are no signs of anyone in the house. There's no lamp lit downstairs, but there is a winding staircase going up to a second floor. Do you go up it?
Yeah, because there was light coming out of the second floor, right? There's a dim light. Yeah, he's just gonna chance it in the dark and make it to the stairs, up the stairs.
All right. The door to the doctor's room is closed. You open it.
Absolutely. Yeah, he has his pistol out, and he opens the door.
As you open the door, you see on the wall facing you, and it kind of covers the ceiling and the surrounding walls, massive mural that's been painted crudely of a raven, a tentacled monster coming up out of the sea. There are otherworldly and extraplanar entities depicted. You hear the sound of an out-of-tune organ playing within your mind, and you see the insane writings of a madman on paper scrawled all through this room, and that is where we are going to end the session.
Well, shit, Grant.
Cult has fantastic organ music. It's one of the perks. You hear it constantly. It's like the soundtrack to your life. As you just slice and dice.
I remember his.
I want everyone to know that Grant and I were talking about this game, and Grant said, I would love to run that game, and I said, you know who'd be great for a horror game? These three people. Wrong!
Excuse me, I thought I contributed greatly to the horror.
You weren't horror!
See? Well,
Which is contributing to the horror.
I worked very hard.
I have gone insane because of this. Not from the madman's writings on the wall, just from this, the last 2 hours. Oh no!
That's a weekend.
I was getting things done.
This is what Greg feels like all the time, I think. Oh, man. All right, let's attempt to do our introductions here. Get your guys' thoughts on this madness. We'll start with Grant. Grant, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of your first foray into the Gloam?
Well, I liked how really evocative the setting descriptive language was. It has sections of like thematic phrases that you can sprinkle in here and there, which I think is really helpful as a dungeon master to set theme and tone. And then, of course, you can burn it all down. It has a lot of great thematic components and some good mechanical options as far as the way the flintlock weapons work. And I really like the setting. I'm going to be running a lot more of it. I'm going to be running the same setting and the same hook, however, a completely different adventure on WebDM on Thursday. Some other supplements I used to plug into this were the Lazy DM's workbook and the Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master prep guide, as well as Gary Gygax's Extraordinary Book of Names, which is how I was able to name every NPC. Yeah, but I mean, I like it as a setting. It's a little different, you know. doing a session 1 is kind of an investigative murder mystery and trying to buy everything in. I really like, all the different directions you guys went into because it's Dungeons and Dragons and I'm playing with friends, so I had fun,
Perfect.
And Mike, just like you're never running D&D on this channel again. You go. You go. Don't come back.
Sorry, Grant, you have one more week of this, and then I will never have you on the... No. I love playing with this group, and this is the first excuse I had to actually put Lindy in a game on the channel, because I've only played with her once in an episode where she had to replace a player who was missing. So I've been looking for every opportunity, but she has like 900 games a week. So it's the same with Grant. I have to find ways to slide Grant in. Actually, this whole cast. I just find ways to slide you guys into the channel. I'm like, I need to play more with these people. Speaking of playing more with these people, Kiana, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of your first foray into Driftchapel?
Oh, that was fun. It's kind of fun playing the character that's just too done to be curious about things, considering she is supposed to be the lead investigator. She's just like, I just need to finish my job. And the fact that the rest of the party is just creating chaos around her, and she just shrugs it off, makes me laugh. Super fun to play, and I love playing with these guys. Just any opportunity that I can. But yes, I am Kiana. You guys can find me over on Twitter at KianaS, and all over the internet doing role-playing games almost every day of the week. And be here next week for the second part of this two-shot, and maybe future games with Mike if somehow schedules.
I know, right?
Figure things out.
Also, hectic schedules. Lindy, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of this one-shot? Or two-shot, I guess.
Yeah, I can't wait for next week to see what happens. I'm going to catch up with the rest of you guys and not say anything about what happened at the church. And be like, swamps? Yeah, swamp sounds great. Let's go right now. The rest of the grocers, my friend, and then we go to the swamp. We don't need to go back to the crime scene. We investigated it thoroughly. Don't go back to the crime scene. I love my character. Can't wait to play her tomorrow on WebDM's channel in a completely different group with a completely different story, but same character, so that'll be fun. I love my little pirate. This is the first time she's been a cannibal though, so it's a whole fun new aspect to explore. Really having a lot of fun with that. You can find me.
I've never heard those words with that connotation. It's the first time she's been a cannibal though, so that's neat.
That's cool.
What?
You can find me playing the rest of my characters that aren't cannibals. Even though this is the first time she's ever been a cannibal. It's the setting. Laugh Love Lindy on Twitch and Twitter, where I post from going live and hosting the games I'm in. Especially like to hype up the fact that I'm going to be in Hell's Rebels on Power Score RPG this Saturday. It's gonna be super duper fun, long running campaign on his channel. I'm gonna be playing a super creepy, nice necromancer. She's very kind. She's a big believer in unliving rights. It's gonna be great. And yeah.
Rights of the unliving.
Yeah, unliving rights. It's a big thing. Do you know how many rights undead have? It's 0. It needs to be more. There needs to be laws put in place. It's a big thing. But yeah, and also check out WebDM tomorrow night for Grant running this setting, but in a different story tomorrow.
Oh.
I don't know what's happening right now. Greg, who are you? Where can we find you on the internet? And what did you think of first part of this two-shot?
Well, my name is Greg. I'm Grimjack21502 on the Twitches and the Twitters. You know what? This is always what happens when you get a group of friends together. You start off with an incredible premise, a really cool kind of gritty area. You introduce Lindy, and then shit goes south. And it's
being accused.
There's no detriment or downplay to the setting, which I believe is very dope. Anytime you give me D&D with flintlocks, I am there. And the fact that, to his credit, Grant was absolutely running this as a murder investigation right up until I think I saw his soul give away right around the kidney in gestation, like whenever, and I thought, yeah, he gave up. He just gave up right there. But it was great. I love playing games with all my friends. It's the absolute best. You can find me on the Grimjack21502 Twitter. On my channel on Fridays, we're going to be giving We're going to be starting to run 4 or 5 weeks of the Renegade Games, Ivan Van Norman's Outbreak Undead. So we're going to have a bunch of different, we have like 20, 25 different players who are going to be coming into the same area, which is Garrett, Maryland, as they fight through the apocalypse. And we'll see how many have survived. And speaking of Garrett, Maryland, everybody, join us here on Unmade Gaming Mondays from 8 to 11 when we do some Atari Twilight Tales from the Loop in Garrett, Maryland. It's 1987. It's the music. It's the fun. It's the hair. Be here.
Yeah, super awesome game. I thoroughly look forward to that every damn week. Guys, all of our social media is in chat. If you're not following us, please do so. Hop on our Discord, join the conversation. Check out all of our games on YouTube that you have missed because you haven't been here this whole time. And with that, we're going to go raid, let's go raid Scraticus. He's doing some stuff right now, and he's a great guy. So let's give him a little host love. Yeah, that'll be it. I think that's it, guys. With all of us, to you. Bye-bye.